Good morning, future fighters. It's Trippy Cakes here. I'm coming back at you with another video. This video is going to be about where to use your Shadowland bios. Depending on what level you're at, there's going to be different areas that you're going to want to pump these biometrics into, and of course that depends on who you want to build, or if you're currently like trying to expand your roster with characters that you can select through these. So I'm just going to kind of briefly go through these and give a little bit of recommendations, but I want you to keep in mind that as it stands right now, there aren't a lot of characters that you're going to be able to pump these bios to rank up that are actually like super worthwhile, but we'll jump into it. So going through the list, as you can see, all of these characters, if they have a tier 3 available, a lot of these guys are only like 800 CCF and very basic characters, so you can actually benefit from doing Shadowlands and the missions. So you'll get an extra 30 bios from doing some of these characters like Captain America, Spider-Man, the whole shebang. I'm not going to include natives on the list because you by now everybody should kind of know a generalization of which natives to go for. So as far as non-natives and stuff like that goes that are farmable characters, you got the Hulk. He is a good option. He's very farmable with the missions and Shadowland, and he's also a very good pick. Same with Minerva. She was a free-to-play character from the Captain Marvel update, so you can also use these biometrics on her. If I remember correctly, I'm almost 100% certain that she was free-to-play. It's been a while. Usually I just rank these characters up and move on. Molten Man, as of now, he is still the meta for Alliance Battle Extreme for Combat Villain Day. He even outdoes Minerva. But if Namor gets his uniform anytime soon, then you can expect to see that change. But he is still a decent option for PvE. Mysterio, another good character. Of course, he requires his uniform. A lot of these characters are going to require their uniform to shine because some of them were a little bit dated. War Machine, you can farm him through actual missions as well as the Shadowlands bios as well, but if you have the Avengers in-game uniform, that's going to make him a valuable character. He's very surprising. I use him in PvP. He's actually pretty great. Next up, you have Black Widow, a very underrated speed character. Of course, you're going to need her in-game uniform, and then she'll really start to shine. You'll see that more in PvP than PvE. She's a very good character. It's actually surprising to me. Then you got Karath. He's also, I guess he's one of the 2 recommended speed characters for Alliance Battle Extreme Day, but is farmable using the Shadowlands biometrics, so he's a good character to have. When it comes to Hawkeye, unless you have the Ronin uniform, there's not really a point in building him unless you're just trying to expand your roster. Let's see, those guys are okay. Winter Soldier, he's another good one. You can farm him through missions and Shadowland bios. Good to have. Iron Hammer, if you're relatively new, he should have been one of the ones that you selected, that you got for free. The only thing that sucks is you can't really use these on any of the mutant characters. The mutant characters kind of have their own way of life when it comes to Marvel Future Fights, so that's actually a pretty large chunk that you're going to be missing out of. Let's see, I believe, I'm not sure about Killmonger. I'm pretty sure he's not free to play, but you got Hulkbuster. He's a good alternative. He's got 2 different uniforms that you can use. Then there's, who else do we have? Luke Cage, always a good defensive character for PvP. The Punisher is good. Nebula, of course, you're gonna need her uniform as well. Let's see, who else do we have on this list, because I'm only trying to mention like characters that are worthwhile. I believe Crystal. Yeah, I want to say Crystal is one of those characters that you can use these biometrics on. Star-Lord, Rocket Raccoon, also good alternatives as well. Phil Coulson, he's a good support character if you're lacking some of those. I may be impartial, but I really like Yellow Jacket. I think he's a fun character to use, and I think he's worth getting into as well. Let's see, Kid Kaiju's exclusive. I believe Spider-Gwen is also exclusive. Yondu's really not that bad with that uniform. He's decent. Vulture is obtainable, and he is super villain, which helps out. There's actually not as many characters as you would think that would benefit from these Shadowland bios, so after a certain point you gotta start feeding these bios to ranking people up to get to level 70, and there's different aspects into that. So basically the takeaway is Shadowland biometrics will only get you so far nowadays. It used to be, before they started coming out with a bunch of mutants, that you would be able to use it on a bunch of different characters. But it's okay. After a certain point, you're just gonna have to learn that, you know, these biometrics are pretty much going to turn into food for your natives and stuff like that. So if you feel like you're kind of like starting to stop, you know, acquiring characters, it's just normal, and there are different ways to get these characters. So anyway, this has been Trippy Cakes. I want to thank you guys for stopping by. These are just some of my recommendations for the biometrics for the Shadowland selectors. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button. We'll be doing some raffles and giveaways here in the next week or so, and I look forward to chatting with you guys again. I'll check y'all later.